film my videos about a month in advance at this point because I filmed so many before this. But I have some good news. I got into my dream school. I am so excited, guys. I got into the school that I wanted to go to for about half of my life now. I've been taking classes at community college for a little over a year now, but I wanted to transfer to the university that I've always wanted to go to, and I just got really good news last week that I am admitted. They accepted me, and yeah, I have put in my admission. I am set to go, and yay! As of now, it is March 16th, and I know this video is going to be released way past that. So, yeah. I got into my dream school. I'm planning on being a translator. I'm going to major in Korean. Yeah, so everything is kind of falling into place, and I'm really excited. What's up, guys? My name is Moo. I'm a college student who loves reading, and I'm here to share that with all of you. I am in a happy mood today, partially because of the news I just shared, but also, I don't know, things are just going great. I'm having a good time. I just got some good news for other stuff. Overall, I'm just doing good. I'm just happy, so cool. Today I decided I would wear blue. This is kind of the only blue that I have in my wardrobe, so I wore this, but I wore it for a reason, and that's because we are reviewing Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll, something that I'm sure almost everyone knows, and if you don't, what rock have you been living under? I'm sure that we all know Alice in Wonderland from Disney. The movie is kind of all I knew until this point, but I wanted to read the original and see how it stacked up. And yeah, I'm just here to tell you about it. I also watched the movie in preparedness for this video. And I didn't like the movie as a kid, so we'll talk about that later. But yeah, it was definitely a time. It was a time. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland is only 89 pages, and it took me 4 days to read, so I think that says a lot about how easy it was for me to read it, but it took me a while, because I'll be honest, I didn't have a good time. Sorry to all you Alice in Wonderland fans, but I am not among you. We should read the summary, shouldn't we? One of the most popular and most quoted books in English, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland was the creation of Charles Lutwidge Dodgson, a distinguished scholar, mathematician, and author who wrote under the pseudonym Lewis Carroll. Written for young readers but enjoyed equally by adults, the wonderfully fantastic tale is credited with revolutionizing children's literature and liberating it from didactic constraints. The story is deeply but gently satiric, enlivened with an imaginative plot and brilliant use of nonsense as it relates to Alice's adventures in a bizarre, topsy-turvy land underground. There she encounters a cast of strange characters and fanciful beasts, including the White Rabbit, March Hare, Mad Hatter, the Sleepy Dormouse, and Grinning Cheshire Cat, the Mock Turtle, the Dreadful Queen of Hearts, and a host of other unusual creatures. Sir John Tenniel's complete original illustrations bring the story and all the characters to life in this beloved classic that has delighted readers and listeners since the first publication in 1865. There you have it. I don't know why I don't like this book, because everything about it is stuff that I enjoy. It's very chaotic, it's very fantastical, it is escapism in its finest, but I just didn't enjoy it. Tiger! I just don't know why I don't like this story. I just am not a big fan. Honestly, I wanted to read this book because I never liked the movie as a kid, and I wanted to see if I could understand it better by reading the book, and unfortunately, that was not the case. My relationship with Alice in Wonderland is slightly complicated. I would dress as Alice as a kid all the time. I liked her as a character, but I just did not like the movie at all. In fact, I enjoyed the Barney version of it better. It pains me to say this, but I think the Barney version of Alice in Wonderland is the only version that I like, but that's just the truth. I will say there were some bits and pieces that I did like. They were mostly in the movie for reasons that had nothing to do with the book. Like, the Mad Hatter's Tea Party is nostalgic in itself because it reminds me of Disneyland. So when I'm walking through Fantasyland, which is my favorite land to go through, I hear that music and it reminds me of that, and I miss Disneyland. Everyone who wants to go someday, I hope you get a chance to go because it very much is a magical place. I don't consider myself a huge Disney fan. I enjoy Disney and I'm from a family who loves Disney, so I love going to Disneyland and that kind of thing. But I'm not like a Disney fan. I wouldn't call myself a Disney fan. I am just a person who enjoys Disney occasionally, and that very much includes Disneyland. I think Disneyland is my favorite part of any of the anything in Disney. The only thing I use Disney Plus for is to watch The Simpsons. So it's just how I feel. Like, for example, when it comes to Disney, my favorite movies are ones that are not really in the Disney mold, like Zootopia and Big Hero 6. But I digress. Reading this book gave me a chance to feel nostalgic. I will say though, as a kid, Alice in Wonderland terrified me. It says in this back it's supposed to be a book for children, and it makes sense that it is because it was very fantastical and chaotic in the way a child would like. However, it terrified me as a kid, especially the Queen of Hearts, because when I was 3 years old, I went to Disneyland the first time with my family, and I went on the ride, and I saw the Queen of Hearts and her face was red, and she's going like this. I'm like, ah! Such a silly thing to do on camera. She was going like that, and it freaked me out, and then the ride stopped. We were trapped. Well, not trapped, but it just stopped, and we had to evacuate. And that was not fun, and that, I think, also cemented me not liking Alice in Wonderland much, but yeah. One thing that I really did like about the book that was not included in the movie was on the first page, there was a quote that I relate to a lot. It says, "She was considering in her own mind, as well as she could, for the hot day made her feel very sleepy and stupid." Me too. To be honest, I don't like hot days. I like clouds and rain. I related a lot to that. Another really funny thing that I thought about the book is they kept telling you to refer to pictures. Like, one thing that was in the book that they didn't include in the movie was there was a griffin, and Lewis Carroll says this: "They very soon came upon a griffin lying fast asleep in the sun. If you don't know what a griffin is, look up at the picture." I don't know why that made me laugh so much, but it did. And I guess it makes more sense because it was for children, but just to give instructions in the middle of a narrative story, I think is just hilarious. If you don't know what a griffin is, just look at the picture. It's right there. Are you dumb? Are you sleepy and stupid like Alice? I don't know, and it happened not once but twice. It happened again with the king being in a wig with a crown on his head, and it says go to the beginning page if you want to know, and if you want to know if that's possible, look at the front page. I don't know, I think it's just funny. I drew the pictures. Just look at the pictures. It's not hard, is what he's saying, and I think that's just kind of funny. That made me laugh, and that made me enjoy reading it that much more. Even though I don't personally enjoy the story of Alice in Wonderland, I think that it is a really cool story to be brought to camera. It's quite an interesting story. It does very well in a movie, and if I'm being honest, I just wish that Disney did more like this. Not Alice in Wonderland exactly, but rather they took more stories that were written a couple hundred years ago and they turned them into amazing Disney movies. 20th century era Disney was the best of the best, of course. You had Snow White, and then you just had all the 50s. The 50s was an amazing era for Disney, and then it took a little while, but you got The Little Mermaid in the late 80s, and that magic Disney quality went through the entire 90s, and then it lulled again. And I don't think that we've had much of a resurgence except for the tiny quip with Tangled and Frozen. If you take stuff like Alice in Wonderland, a classic for a very good reason, I think it would be cool. You should be introducing kids to classic literature, because even though I don't believe a kid in the 21st century would enjoy this book just because it's a little bit proper and maybe a bit boring for kids, I still think that it is very important to bring classic literature and fairy tales and nursery rhymes to kids, because I don't know, I just find it magical. There was more space to believe in the unbelievable back then. Now we have science, and that's a very good thing. We can scientifically prove basically anything, but it also means there's an answer for everything. So people are less creative because they know more. I'm not saying there's not room for creativity in this world, because the internet has brought forth some of the most creative things that I have ever seen. However, I think diving back into the 19th century and even before that would bring us so many cool stories that we just haven't explored too much in the mainstream society of the 21st century. I feel bad for not talking too much about this book in the book essay video, but I really don't have much to say. I don't even know if I can recommend it to anyone. I think my sister would like it. I should give it to my sister, but I guess if I were to recommend this to people, it would be to people who like fantasy, who liked the original Alice in Wonderland movie, and I guess that's it. I guess that's it. Well, it's a lot harder to recommend a book that you don't enjoy to other people, even if you think that other people would enjoy it. So, yeah. That's all I have to say about this book. If you liked it, like it. If you like the content I'm making, consider subscribing and comment your favorite classic in the comments. I think I haven't done that one yet. I don't remember. But anyways, this has been Moo. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!